this is John Blood, Super Chemist, here to talk about why I started my channel. And when I say my channel, I'm talking about my original main channel where I do the chemistry experiments. Because I'm going to go into doing videos here about people starting up their own channel. Because I started out my videos, I didn't really, wasn't going to go gung-ho on it or anything like that, you know what I mean? But I did, the reason why I started even the chemistry itself was because of therapy, basically. I'm considered a depressed person or whatever, and that's one of the things you should do if you want to try to cure that or stop it, is have a hobby, you know what I mean? Something that even if you're not into it, as long as you're interested in it, and you wish you knew, you wish you could just press a button and know it all, and no work involved. If it's that type of thing, and that's the only thing you can think of, then you need to start doing that hobby. You know what I mean? And over time, it will, like think about playing a guitar. The first 2 years or year, it sucks for anyone. I don't care if you're depressed or not, man. It's just monotonous work that you're doing. But after the 2 years, or a year, or whatever it takes, and you're playing actual full songs on the guitar, you know what I mean? Not only do you have that, where you're strengthening up your pathways in your brain to like it, you know what I mean, to have an interest in something. Not only that, but then after that year or whatever, where you can actually do something like play a full song, it gives you a sense of accomplishment, a sense of, you know what I mean, it helps in that way also. And that's why I started up the videos, just an extension of that therapy of doing something, you know what I mean. Of course, fun. I love chemistry. I figured, it'd be fun, and also my kids. I figured even if after I die they wanted to learn chemistry, or they even were nostalgic and wanted to hear my voice or whatever, or know about me, that there'd be these videos that they could watch. And another reason is that no one answers my questions. I mean, you can't fault any of these people. I mean, like especially the big ones, they probably have hundreds of posts, where they gotta answer questions. So I'm not putting them down. I'm grateful that they have the videos up. But nobody really, I mean, unless it's like a BS type question, nobody will really answer any of your questions. I mean, I'm sure they do. Like I said, they got thousands of people to answer. They can't answer them all. But the only one who really answered my questions was ChemPlayer. And I don't even think I'd be doing videos if it wasn't for ChemPlayer, really. I started doing mine pretty much after he stopped doing his. And I know they're a group of people. They're very inspiring people, though. They're like me, though. They didn't just want to throw some videos up. They actually wanted to get people interested in chemistry, learn about chemistry. And that's how I am. When they were gone, I was like, wow, man, someone needs to do that. You know what I mean? There's people out there like me who don't just want to watch the videos. They want to know what's actually happening, and why people did what they did. And get chemistry fans. You know what it's like to have a hobby where you're the only one that's into that hobby. And not only that, you could be the only one into a hobby and still talk to other people about it. But you can't, when it's chemistry, who are you going to talk to? They don't know what the heck you're talking about. You know what I mean? It's like, it's terrible when you can't talk about anything to anybody. And that was another reason why I started the videos. I figured, hey, I could get some friends and talk, and having their experiments. They can tell me about theirs. I can tell them about mine, which leads me to the next one, to help others learn. I could help them, and plus they could help me. It's all about just, I guess, kind of like starting a club, about chemistry, I guess. And the next one is I wanted to fill in the gaps. And like on my first year, last year, I did one of the main things I wanted to do was show how to get dichromate, potassium dichromate. All the videos out there, they all tell you how to make chromate. They tell you how to make chromic acid. They tell you how to make dichromate. But the thing is if you don't already have those things are the same thing. You know what I mean? The only difference is how much acid you have in it. Chromate is the same exact thing as dichromate. It's just it has less acid and it's more, you know what I mean? The chromic acid has more acid, and chromate has, is basic. They're the same thing, though. if I don't have one of those things, I can't make the other thing. So I wanted to fill in the gaps. Like, that's why I took mine from chromium metal that you can just buy online. No one cares if you buy it or not. It's metal. And how to take it up to chromate and, you know, dichromate and that. And also, you'll notice I have a lot of how to get videos. That's because I remember when I was, you know, 10 years ago or 20 years ago, when I was trying to learn chemistry or whatever, and we didn't have the internet back then, you know, and trying to find these little things like how to get, you know, you have 100 experiments on the YouTube, but how do you get those chemicals, the original, you know, the starting chemicals to do those? No one would tell you. And I knew a lot of it from back in the day, but, you know, that's why I have those videos up there. You know, how do you get potassium chloride? Well, it's just table salt pretty much. It's at the grocery store, you know, but there aren't any videos telling you that. They just start out, hey, I got some potassium chloride here, and I'm going to do this with it. Well, how did you get that potassium chloride? You know what I mean? So I wanted to do that, fill in the gaps. Another reason is the fighting. You know, and I start fights with people. Everyone does it. We're all human. You know, but it's, I go on another channel, I don't want to hear garbage talk. You know what I mean? I don't want to hear, you know, on my channel, I can just delete it. I mean, so far everyone's been pretty cool. Nobody's fighting and nobody's really being a jerk about stuff. But I really like that fact that instead of, you know, someone says something stupid, instead of me getting mad and, you know, going back to them and then they go back at me, now it's a fight, and it's just kind of, it's not productive. Now I can just erase it and not even think about it, you know, ever again, and it doesn't affect me, you know what I mean? Leads me to the next thing. I want to do something productive before I die, you know what I mean? My life has been nothing but garbage, pretty much, and this is at least productive. You know what I mean? Maybe it helps someone out there. Maybe it'll help one of my kids in the future. Someone starting out, you know, or someone maybe is depressed and they like chemistry. Maybe they're doing the same exact thing as me, you know. But that's why I wanted my channel to mostly be about learning and helping other people, you know what I mean? And then that leads me to the next thing. Now, even when I was just doing this to do it, you know, I wasn't going to do this as a job. Like, I still was planned on making money on tutoring and writing a couple books on, you know, how the home chemist starts out. You know what I mean? Like how-to books, how to begin. And since then, though, you know, over the year that I've been posting videos, I've been watching, you know, I watch YouTube all the time. I watch YouTube more than TV. And I see how you can make money other ways, like Patreon. You can have a store, monetize. But now that I'm planning on, you know, I see how it's done and what people are doing. You know, I'll probably do, except for Patreon, I'll probably maybe even skip the tutoring, and I'm just going to go with the books and a store and monetize. I wasn't even going to monetize before. But keep in mind, I'll never monetize a brand new video. I mean, I'm thinking a year, but you know, it depends on how much money I'll lose. I'll definitely wait at least a month for all my subscribers to watch it. I don't plan on monetizing anything or really making any kind of money for another 4 years. Patreon, I was going to do that, you know, in time, but I think I'm just going to go with the store. I have 2 books. You know, my books were going to be just about like how to be a home chemist, you know what I mean, and you know, how to make acids or bases or this or that. But I have 2 books. One's actually a storybook, and another book that is tells how to make like 4 or 5 chemicals or whatever. But the book that tells you how to make stuff is actually in the storybook, so it's like a book within a book. But anyways, some other things that, and that's why I bring this up, because I'm going to make up videos, in my opinion, of what, you know, what you should do or what you should not do.
A lot of it, though, is just common sense, like the lighting, texting. I hate that when they text. These are reasons why I started my videos, because they're just so terrible, the videos that are out there, except for like 3 or 4 people doing them. Everyone else seems to be terrible at it. Although in the last year, there's been a lot more people doing chemical experiments and posting them. But when they have no audio, they don't talk at all, and they just put a text up there, for me, I never have enough time to read it, so I have to pause it. So every 5 seconds, I'm pausing it, I'm reading, then I unpause it, and then they leave a few seconds for you to read it, so I got to wait for that to pass. And that's what the whole video is. It's so aggravating and annoying that I just want to rip my hair out. Volume, and I'm guilty of this. And if I had time, I would explain why, but it's because of my editor. But volume, where it's first 10 seconds is you got to turn the volume all the way up because you can barely hear it, and then all of a sudden it's blasted. It's like they're on a megaphone. Then it goes down to being where you can't hear them, and you're just messing with your volume every 5 seconds. It's aggravating. I'm guilty of that. I'm really guilty of that. Lighting, same here. I'm really guilty of all these. But most of the people that are putting out videos of what you should do if you're starting up your own YouTube channel, it's all pretty common sense stuff. You know what I mean? But I do take a kind of a different approach to it than most people do. And a lot of the things that you're supposed to do, I was already doing the first year, just because, you know what I mean? I would look at the videos that I hated, and I would try to not do that. You know what I mean? And most people that are telling you how to do YouTube channels are telling you to go find people that are great and copy off of them, emulate them. And that is good. That's you should do that. But most of those things they're doing are pretty common sense stuff. To give you an example of what I'm talking about when I say I think a little different than most people, search words and tags. Those are the words that you put in. Let's say you put a video up, you can put search words in there, or tags, where if someone is typing using the search engine for YouTube or Google, that they will type in those words. If any of them match your search words, then you'll come up, you know what I mean, in their search. Without search words, your video will never come up. But a lot of people, and they're right, don't get me wrong, they say that you should put single words in there, like, you know what I mean, like I do chemistry experiments, so I would put chemical experiments, chemistry, general chemistry, maybe organic chemistry, lab. And when I search for something, I don't search using, I mean, sometimes I do, but most times I search with a question. You know what I mean? So my search words, I mean, they start out, first of all, with my name and the title of the movie and all that, but they start out with questions. Then if I have room at the end, I will leave search words that are single words, or you know what I mean? But like if I have a video on how to make sodium acetate, if someone is looking for that video, most likely they're going to put in how to make sodium acetate, how to synthesize sodium acetate, how do I get sodium acetate, you know what I mean? They're not typing in sodium acetate, general chemistry, home lab. They're not typing in all that crap. So, I mean, I do have, and I never hear anyone saying use full sentences. You know what I mean? They're always telling you to use just single words, or 2 words, even 3 words, but they never really say, hey, when people search for stuff, they use questions. So start with a question. You can see my videos are not professional looking, because this is kind of like I'm not really looking, this is kind of like a icing on a cake type thing for my main channel. I'm not trying to do anything here but help. That's it. I don't have the time to make, this look beautiful. That's why I just have the markers. It's not, but I have hours and hours. I mean, I probably have 1,000, maybe 500 hours just looking in how to start a YouTube channel, how to run it. Always remember, life is what you make it, so make it great.